Revolt. My videos I will try to have within 15 minutes. There's only 24 hours in a day. 20 hours a day, I think I'm entitled to get it to about the most 16 hours a day. So to the point, without repetition, because now I think I've said it enough times. This video, you revolt against, it is a revolting quagmire of defying the laws of God and man, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights and Civil Rights by the Hooverists. And Hooverists are following faggot siestas. Now, this video is being brought to you by d.b.a PhD Company. And what I want to do is to just informally take an overall general picture of the discipline of science. It's what is some of the, I think, the highest or high achievements and critical improvements. Well, there was, I think, the electric light bulb. Then there's the laser beam. Oh, Edison with the electric light bulb. And then the laser beam, let him catch stimulated electromagnetic radiation by yours truly, Doc Castellano, doing business as d.b.a PhD Company in 1957. So you can imagine all those years of the crimes against me, my father's family, the genocide, and the crimes against genocide against me and my family that they're still doing. If you were in my position, what would you do? Or at least look at it from my point of view. That what they're doing every day, 24/7. So, right to the point. On the laser beam, I can think of the internet. It's been great. And those who developed the internet should be honored. I'm talking about their work. Now, in scientists, there was Lorentz, Poincare, Henry Poincare, who gave the main speech at the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis, Missouri. All the great scientists gathered there. Einstein says he never read Poincare's books or any book. Everybody else read his books, anybody that was in science. And at the time, Olinto De Pretto, who put forward E = mc² = c², and the transformation from matter into energy and the enormous amount of energy you obtain, that Einstein lived in that area, they all knew each other. De Pretto's cousin got Einstein to work with him in the Swiss Patent Office, that they say there's no references. Yes, he gave two. Oliva Meric, his wife, was a mathematician, and his cousin, which as I'm going to say just what the facts are, and you then research as to precisely my videos on the subject absolutely prove Einstein robbed Olinto De Pretto. And in our one-on-one, he wanted me to try to speak German.
And I told him, look, the German I know is like Einstein dry sphere from college days. Who's going to buy the beer? And he laughed. But he speaks Italian fluently. See, he didn't tell me that because he never mentions that in Olinto De Pretto, who he stole E equals mb squared, E equals mc squared from. So through the years, then you have, this is Doxy PhD company, talking about science, not, so I'm going to concentrate then on, from the internet, now what? Well, you have to do things for somebody. You cannot use genocide, you cannot experiment on people. And I believe in having 2 feet on the ground, rational man thinking rationally, looking at this vast, enormous, complex universe and seeing what the true actions and reactions are, and you know, the true complex, tough resolutions you have to come up with, and do it from a rational point of view. Einstein says in order to get the correct answer, you have to think rationally and use a mathematical schema. And I say, no, you think rationally and represent what that is, and then it will be valid and hold to be valid. So, I have now where I see there's an august body of intellectuals, absolutely. They are good, and they are proud of their profession, they should be. And I mentioned those that I think are worthy to be mentioned as being part of the true history, this august body of good intellectuals, professionals. And there's Lorentz transformation equations. There's Henry Poincaré, who gave the main speech at the World's Fair on relativity. His subject and title was Relativity, in which he said what relativity is, special relativity, time dilation, and about why there appears to be contraction, length contraction. He went all through that in detail. And Plagiarist Einstein said, well, I never read one of his books. What he gave was published and discussed, certainly at the patent department, again by Olinto De Pretto's cousin, and Olinto De Pretto. So we have then where you have from Poincaré, you have Philip Leonard, who put forward a photoelectric effect, and Oliva Meric, who became Einstein's wife, was his wife while Philip Leonard did the research of and solution to the photoelectric effect. And when Einstein was given an award for the photoelectric effect, Professor Philip Leonard was quite angry. Obviously, his wife working with him, that's where Einstein got it from. So when he got the check from the Nobel Prize, he countersigned the check to Oliva Meric, and then everything was quieted down. Now, you say, well, Einstein then would have the, of course, would have the field equations for general relativity. He tried, in 2 years, he put an effort, it was a constant effort, David Hilbert, and he began communications, and David Hilbert would tell him what he was doing to obtain general relativity field equations. And David Hilbert sent them written what he had achieved. 3 days later, Einstein gives a lecture in the classroom and puts on the chalkboard precisely what David Hilbert sent him. And those who made Einstein and keep up his image and so forth said, well, Einstein's a genius. He came up with the field equations, not Hilbert. Hilbert copied him. Wait a minute. Hilbert wrote 3 days before. Einstein just gave a little classroom lecture, precisely what Hilbert sent him. Now, then there's where he put forward unified field theory, which was incorrect. And at the Royal Irish Academy of Science in Dublin, Ireland, I talked to the men that worked with him, and finally said they had to convince him it was incorrect. They don't even hear about it. Him putting forth the field equations, his idea of a unified field theory, which was incorrect, and they finally said, if you don't retract it, they're going to start saying, hey, how could he not be smart enough to see it's wrong? Maybe it's all what they know. The plagiarism is correct, and he shouldn't be given credit for what they're giving him credit for. So then he finally retracted. These are the true facts. Now, who are good? Well, I mentioned Poincare, and then in recent years, there's Enrico Fermi, and then there's an Emilio Segre, and he is the consummate gentleman and mathematical physicist. And when you see a movie or a TV program about the A-bomb, you'll hear him mention, what does Segre say? In other words, they relied on his expertise. He's that good. And in me conferring with him, I can say we're personal friends. He is the consummate gentleman and mathematical physicist. And that's what I try to be. Yeah. Other things I have to, especially say from the bloody pulpit, I have to say it the way it is. And this is the way I am. I didn't obtain what I did because of how they were mistreating me, so then I rose into... No, I did it. The atomic fusion energy alone. They didn't know who I was, and I'd called a secret meeting. I did everything I ever did alone, usually late at night, during the middle of the night. Above the fact that I'm being forced to be like a nobody. Do you see? I did it over their attempts to kill me and have me crippled up. Now I am crippled up because in December they gave me treatment that I see was at least as bad or worse than Guantanamo Bay. A couple of times as close. I survived, and not in a wheelchair, but I have to be careful. Now, what do I present then as in the discipline of science, especially physics, and most important, mathematical physics? I have to be careful that I don't talk as though I'm the authority. Like, Einstein said this is it, that's it, why? Einstein said so. So I'm not a special person. I'm just a little old preacher who believes in having 2 feet on the ground, being rational, thinking rational, and coming up with what I think to be the best solution representative of what this complex universe is and how to define it. With that, I say, all those who realize I'm saying the truth, and of course, if you can help in any way, I highly appreciate that. Thank you.